वंशी विभूषितकरान्नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरादरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने. Welcome to the Friday scripture class, and today's scripture is Uddhava Gita. And as you say in the background, there are it's different than what we do in Toronto. It means that I am not in Toronto, but I am in San Francisco. It is the old temple of San Francisco. There are two temples in San Francisco: Old Temple and New Temple. Old Temple was established by Swami Tirunathanandaji, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And here on the background, you see the photographs of all the all the heads of the centers who were heads of this center of Vedanta Society of Northern California. You see Swamiji there, and there is Swami Trigunatithanandaji, and Swami Turiyanandaji also came here. You can see the photograph of Swami Turiyanandaji, Swami Trigunatithanandaji, the founder of the center. So there's a big photograph there. And there is, you can see Swami Prakashanandaji. After Trigunatithanandaji came Prakashanandaji. And you can see other photographs of, you see, Vividishanandaji, Swami Madhavanandaji, Ashokanandaji, Dayanandaji, and Sat Swarupanandaji, Parvati Maharaj, whom Swami Sridharanandaji, after he went back from US, Swami Sridharanandaji took his care, and he stayed in Lucknow ashram with Swami Sridharanandaji's care for many years, and he attained the Mahaparinirvana there. And Swami Prabodhanandaji, that most of you know and have seen him in Toronto, so much he loved Toronto, used to go there, give the retreat, and she was so loving Swami. And I also met Swami Prabodhanandaji, among all them, only Swami Prabodhanandaji. Of course, I had the opportunity to do pranam to Swami Dayanandaji when he was old and retired in Sevapatistan in 70s, in 1970s. But other Swamis I have not seen. But all these are the Swamis who were the head of the Vedanta Society of Northern California. So in today's class, we are doing, as you know, we are doing about that Avadhuta or Brahmana saying about how he learned uh, the knowledge, from whom he got the knowledge. He had 24 gurus and 24 teachers that taught him, not taught him, he absorbed and learned seeing them. And of the 24 gurus, as we know, the first verse says, Prithvi, Vayura, Akasham, Apo, Agnis, Chandrama, Ravi, Patango, Kapoto, Meena, Ajagara, Madhukrit, Gajaha. So we read up to Ajagara, Prithvi, Vayu, Akasha, everything gone. Then Patango, Madhukrit, Gajaha. Of this, we read in the earlier verse about other things, but today is about the Patanga. How this Patanga from the fly, what he learned from moth. Patanga here means moth. What he learned from moth. So, verse 7 on page 47 of Madhavanandaji's book, Uddhava Gita, then the verse 7 says, Dishtva striyam deva mayam tadbhavai ajitendriya pralobhita patatyandhe tamasyagno patangavat. So, like the moth that is attracted by fire, the person, the sadhaka, if he is attracted by the objects of enjoyment, he will fall into abysmal darkness. He will fall into the chakra of birth and death, in the cycle of birth and death. All his desire for spiritual illumination will be gone. So one should be very careful, says Avadhuta in the Uddhava Gita, as being related by Sri Krishna to Uddhava, that one should be very careful of the objects of enjoyment. What are the objects of enjoyment? That should be the sadhaka, the aspirant should be careful. He said, Drishtva striyam deva mayam tadbhavai ajitendriya. So first is the ajitendriya, who has no control over the senses. That is who runs after the senses. Sense gets attracted, attached to something, and that creates deep impression in that man. And as he is pralobhita, he becomes attracted by the sense object, then he runs after that, forgetting the goal of his life, that is spiritual illumination. These all these enjoyments, as if were are the obstacles or the challenges set forth by God to find out if you are real adhikari, if you have real will to become spiritually illumined, if you have real true aspiration for spiritual progress, then only you can overcome these obstacles. Otherwise you will be caught by these obstacles for sense enjoyment, who are very powerful and strong. In that listing different kinds of obstacle, given the example of a moth perishing by going into attracted by the fire, the brilliance of fire, it goes and it goes into the fire, and it calls for it destruction. Like that, this person will also have its spiritual destruction if it is attracted, he or she he is attracted by these by the by these objects of sense enjoyment. In that, he starts, the Avaduta starts saying striyam deva mayam. So it first starts from lust. So lust caused by, if we see this twice striyam, if we see the woman, and what is woman, it says very clearly, very nicely described, deva mayam. It is the uh, it is the Lord's enchantment. It is the Maya of the Lord, attraction created by the Lord. So one should be very careful from such attraction. So as Sri Ramakrishna also used to say, Kamini Kanchana is the world and worldliness. So one should be careful from Kamini Kanchana. And here also Avaduta is talking to Yadu, who is a man. So he is talking about the Kamini Kanchana. So what is for women equally, it is Kama Kanchana, Purusha Kanchana. So Purusha is as attractive. Whatever is said here to this Yadu, um, same thing applies to women devotee, women aspirant about the man. So man is like the Deva Maya, the enchantment created by the Lord. And if one seeing Drishtva Striyam Deva Mayam, so if it is for the woman, Drishtva Purusham Deva Mayam, it will be like that. So this verse, as it is being said by Avadhuta Brahmana to Yadu, a man, then it says, this Drishtva Striyam Deva Mayam Tad Bhavai Ajitendriya. And what type of person that will be attracted is Ajitendriya. He has no control over itself, they have no control over their mind. They are very weak minded people, often being sense enjoyment, attraction for the senses become very powerful for them. If such person is attracted by women, so what will happen to them? What will attract the women? Tad bhavai. The women's face or their activity or their voice, anything can attract to such ajitendriya person who is devoid. What is ajitendriya? Devoid of discernment. What is the goal? Goal is spiritual illumination, going beyond the attraction of the world. Vairagya has to be there. No Vairagya has developed and you aspire to realize God, to become spiritually illumined, then you fall. The fall of such person is imminent if is not attained at the Vairagya. So that's why Viveka and Vairagya, though they come as the adhikari or the person who is able to practice jnana yoga, equally important for Bhakti Yoga. It's all about the Bhakti Yoga is being said. So it is very important that one should be free from the attraction. They have to practice Viveka and Vairagya, always discerning this is right, this is wrong, what is my path, what I have chosen. So, not to be attracted by something that will make you fall from your path. So, obstacles are like the challenges given by God. When one is like there is banana peel somewhere thrown on the road. If you are careless and you said put your foot on the banana peel, you will slip and fall. So one has to be careful while walking on the path. And how much careful one has to be while treading the path of spirituality. So one should be careful about the person of opposite gender. So Drishtva Striyam, and what is opposite gender? Deva Mayam, the enchantment created by Deva. Tadbhavai Ajitendriya. What happens to Ajitendriya, who is uncontrolled, has no discernment, who has no understanding that he may fall there? Then Pralobhita, he becomes attracted. He becomes, Lobha is greed. He becomes attracted. Prakrishta Rupena Lobha. Lobha is so attractive, so powerful Lobha, powerful attraction, greed comes. Then what happens? Patanti Andhe, and then he falls in the tamasyagna, like in the dark abysmal darkness. That person falls. And what is that falling? He goes into the cycle of birth and death, because he has not understood or of the nature of the world yet, and he is given to the enchantment of the world. And tamasyagna patangavat, like from where he saw the moth falling in the fire by attracted by its brilliance, and he immediately thought how a sadhaka can fall. For sadhaka, what is that flame of fire? What is that attraction of the flame of fire? It is, he says, only one example he gave. Next verse he will give other examples. This Deva Mayam Striyam, the enchantment created by the Lord, the woman, he says, because he is talking to a man. So the Avadhuta says one should be very careful with about the person of opposite gender, the sadhaka should be very careful. Otherwise, there is danger of imminent danger of fall, and he can fall like the patanga embracing the fire. It falls in the fire and perishes. So this is what he says in the first verse when he's talking about Patanga, and then Sindhu Patangu Madhukrit Gajaha, that will come. Then comes another verse, Yoshid Hiranya Abharana Ambaradi Dravyeshu Maya Rachiteshu Mudha Pralobhitatma Hi Upabhoga Buddhya Patanga Van Nashyati Nasta Dristihi. So again, Nasta Dristi, the vision, the perception is not clear. It is when the perception of the world is so attractive, and you have fallen to that, you give to that, you become Nasta Dristi. You are not aware. Your discernment is not right yet, it's not mature. Your vision has become nasta, is all useless vision, perception, vision, understanding, all has gone. So buddhi is not working, wisdom is functionless. You are attracted by the senses, which create little sensation in the mind, and buddhi becoming having not been purified, it is weak, and it gives up its position of controlling the person, giving it the right thought, and saying, no, that is not the way that you should do. You have set for the greater goal, the goal of eternal bliss, and you are being attracted by temporary, flimsy things of the world. So when the will is not able to exert its own, through its own purity, its own strength, and control the mind, and mind gets fed up fed up means it is fed by the senses, and senses, oh, there is so wonderful vision, there is an object of enjoyment. Then that person follows that, and then that causes its destruction. What is that? He said, what are those all these objects of attraction? The Avadhuta says here in more detail. The objects of attraction, the worldly attraction, what Sri Ramakrishna said, kama, kamini, kanchana, which is caught by lust and greed. Then you feel attracted when you are weak on that, you feel attracted by these. And he said, Yosid Hiranya Abharana Ambaradi. Or he gives the list of what are the attraction at the time. So what is Yosid? Yosid means woman, and the woman is an object of attraction. You said Hiranya and gold. By Sri Ramakrishna also said Kamini Kanchana, and that you see Hiranya here. You see, Avadhuta also said the same thing. It is all in the scriptures. Kamini Kanchana is there. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says in the common language. And he says Kamini Kanchana is the world. That is the main attraction for the worldly things. You have to get rid of that. So here it is little elaborated. Yosid Hiranya Abharana Ambaradi. Other he says jewelry, Abharana, ornaments. Those are also attractive for the people, and they also attract. So Ambaradi, and it says clothes, apparel, dress. So these are the attractions that were there at that time. And people could feel, I want to possess so beautiful ornaments, wonderful dress, and apparel that person has. It is so beautiful. He looks in that. May I have that? And of course, woman, enjoyment of woman, and of course, attraction of the gold. So all these drabbeshu maya rachiteshu, they're all created by Maya. This world, this all enchantress, the divine mother, the great enchantress Mahamaya, she creates all these things and puts in front of the sadhaka. Now, sadhaka has to be strong enough to not be deviated in thought by being attracted by this, but should be able to cut asunder the attraction, that this is for time being. It's very flimsy. It's really no enjoyment there in Yoshid Hiranyadi Avarana Ambaradishu. There's no real joy in that. One should be able to say to oneself through the attraction to the mind. Dravyeshu Maya Rachiteshu. All these objects, articles, Maya Rachiteshu. These are all created by Maya. Maya will allow only. Maya is like the gatekeeper, which will allow only the people, those are authorized, are able, with the door pass, to go inside. So, what is the door pass and what are the obstacles? They all are this. If you are attracted to this, then you have no pass. Then you belong to there, and you are not allowed to go in search of the bliss of God realization. So you stay outside. Maya has put all this obstacle outside. So who will be attracted by that? Whoever is attracted. One adjective for that person is given by the Avadhuta here, and he says Mudha. One who is attracted by this temporary attraction, with where there is no real happiness is there, just apparent happiness, because your senses are impure, your mind is impure, your intellect has not been purified and become strong. And such type of person whose mind is weak and intellect is weak is can be described with only one word, and that is fool. Such person is fool. That's why it's called mudha. Fool who doesn't have the vision, and that mudha, that fool is attracted by all these maya rachiteshu dravyeshu, via maya rachita dravyani, by the objects created by maya. So he gets attracted to these and can't enter the path of true spiritual practice. Or even if that person has entered the path of spiritual practice but has not purified mind, so it gets attracted to these things. And how these attractions come? very Mahamaya does starts with a very wonderful way. It starts saying that, oh, how beautiful is the thing. So first, someone was one story was being said that how Ramanujacharya saw a person in a temple who was a very strong person, and he was looking to a woman's face, and so he was attracted naturally, that the Yosid attraction was there. And then Ramanuja saw him intently looking at this woman, doing nothing, putting an umbrella over her head. And he said, he just called him and said, "What are you looking?" He said, "I am seeing this woman's eyes. And I have not seen, never seen so beautiful eyes anywhere in the world. Never in my whole life, I have never seen so beautiful eyes." Now, this attraction has come, as it says, by different types. This attraction come to you. So it's not the woman created attraction. It is the Mahamaya created attraction. She can create attraction in the voice, in the face, in the eyes, in anything, in the dress, in ornaments. She can create attraction in many things or anything. So this Ramanuja was so much lover of mankind. He said this person is being deviated from real path, and he is going to be in big trouble. So he said, "Oh, you are so attracted by these eyes, but I can show you eyes more beautiful than that." So he said, "I have seen all the eyes for my life, and I have not seen any eyes beautiful than her eyes." So he said, "Can you?" He said, "Yes, come with me." And Ramanujacharya takes him to the temple of Vishnu. And in the evening, when there was arati going on in the light of eyes and arati, and this eyes, the person really sees the eyes of Vishnu, God's eyes, live in the light of the lamp that was being waved in front of Vishnu's temple, Vishnu's image. And those were not the stone eyes, they become the real eyes of God. Now, what can attract more than the God's thing? With this Maya is just the still sprinkling of the beauty of God. But God's beauty is incomparable. He saw the eyes of God, eyes of Vishnu, which was most beautiful, the most beautiful eyes. And he went into Samadhi, and Ramanujacharya was beside him. He also went into Samadhi. Ramanujacharya often says in meditation, he also was in Samadhi for a long time. They were in Samadhi, then he came down. But by the grace of Ramanujacharya, this person saw the right beauty in the right place, and went away from the worldly beauties to the divine beauty and became a seeker of God. Like that, here also, like that, the thing comes how this beauty attracts. Beauty, kindness, like that thing attracts. So once we are saying about how Turiyananji had visited this center here in San Francisco. Not exactly this house, but he was here and he visited the San Francisco center. And there, Suryananji went back from here to India, and he had some sevak. And he was once walking on the streets of Kolkata, and sevak or brahmachari was seeing these buildings, nice building. Perhaps he came from village, and he was seeing beautiful village, as you see here in San Francisco. All the houses are so beautiful. You just have to walk in the Pacific Heights, and houses in all the streets and avenues are so wonderfully decorated and beautifully painted, and each one has a different design and so well maintained, and you can see the beauty of this house. So that person was just seeing the beauty of houses of Kolkata, and today Anandi said, "What are you looking so intently?" He says, "Maharaj, these houses they make so beautiful houses here in Calcutta." Turiyananji became grave and says, "No, you should not perceive beauty in the houses or anything external. Don't have shobhana adhyasa." That finding beauty in the worldly things is called shobhana adhyasa. Adhyasa, shobhana means beauty, adhyasa means you superimpose. It is not there in the thing, but you superimpose the beauty that is in your heart, in your mind, that beauty of your Atma, that beauty you superimpose on something of external. Like we see a beautiful face, or beautiful flower, or beautiful any creation, wonderful painting. All the Vedanta will say there is nothing beauty externally outside. All beauty is in your Atma. Atma is the most beautiful thing. From Atma, your own inner beauty, you project something, you superimpose something outside, and you see it as the external beauty. And that external beauty, when you see in the things, articles, natural objects, is all Shobhana Adhyasa. The Vedantin will always find the Lord residing in the heart, the most beautiful, or the connection with the Atma, the most beautiful. There can be no beauty other than that. So, Turiyanandaji said, don't have Shobhana Adhyasa, superimpose beauty on anything. Be careful. This is the beginning of attraction of the world. You are seeing the beauty of the house. Then the idea will come, oh, if I could stay in such house for one day, then idea would come, you stay and then come, oh, if I could own and rent this house, and then like that, if I could own this house, like that, the thing are not ending. The attraction already started by Mahamaya, Maya Chariteshu, all composed by Maya. So Mahamaya had one, somehow she showed the beauty in the house. And the subtle thread of this attraction is started. And if you don't cut there, it may lead to Kaupinaka Vaste. You know the story of Kaupinaka Vaste, that in the gospel, one person had, monk had nothing, only Kaupina he used to wear, only loin clothes. And they found that in the ashram there was some mice were there. And they used to nibble on the Kaupin and they started destroying. Now, how to control this mice in the house was a big thing. And there, then he said that, okay, someone said, your mice is troubling, have some cat. The biological control of the mouse, that is the best way to control the mice. And he then procured a cat. Now cat came, mice was now gone because cat devoured the mouse. But what about cat? You had to take care of the pet. You had to give him water, milk, and other food, and he has to beg that milk from other places. And after that, begging the milk, he said, daily I have to go. I have no time to now do meditation. I have to go for my own food. Then I have to go for begging the milk. So what should I do? Somebody says, then have one cow. Then you don't have to go to milk. Then he bought a cow, milk cow. After that, he used to milk and give, less time taken. Now, this milking the cows is a big thing. What to do, how to have this milking every day doing is taking time from my sadhana. Then somebody says, then give someone who can take care of the cow. Then he got a woman who could take care of the cow. Then woman was taking care of the cow. Now this, you see this Kaupina Kavasta, he started with protecting the Kaupin. Now this woman comes in his ashram, in his kutia. Now this getting the woman, he falls in love and gets married, and now there's the children and the family, and he became a family man. This Babaji became a family man. It started with Kaupina, this mice, this nibbling upon his loin cloth. That was the problem. And how he tried to solve the problem and became bigger and bigger attraction of the world, it came. That is called Mahamaya, the attraction. One who does not know how it begins, doesn't know how this beauty thing comes. Very nice aesthetic sense of beauty is so much villagized. Where there is a Kamini Kanchana in the beauty of any flower, you see the beautiful flower, beautiful art, beautiful this. Where is Kama Kanchana? It is not seen at all. But those great swamis, they can make these people aware of all these dangers that may follow. Shobhana Adhyasa. Don't indulge in Shobhana Adhyasa, in superimposing the beauty on the things. That's what Turiyananji had said to that. So here, Dravyeshu Maya Rachiteshu Mudha. So only the fools fall in that. So in such attraction of Yosid Hiranya Abharana Ambaradishu. Those who fall in that are called fool, or fools fall in that. Pralobhitatma hi upabhoga buddhya. Pralobhitatma, they get so much attracted. Well, not only lobha, pralobha. It's very prakrishta rupena loba, perfect loba. That is great attraction, enchantment. Then why just seeing these things, ornaments and gold and all this? Why people fall from the path of their spiritual practice? So upabhoga buddhya. They say they think that these are to be enjoyed. Upabhoga, one can enjoy these. That sort of idea comes that these are enjoyable. So to that fool, these all articles, the glittering of gold or any ornament of any beauty seems to be the object of enjoyment. Once I was in the Pacific in Vancouver, near Vancouver, in the Sunshine Coast, and I was with Swami Bhaskarananda ji. When we were in a devotee house just on this Pacific Bay, coast of Pacific Ocean, and one speedboat came, and the person was just coming forth to and fro on the speedboat on that ocean. And Swami Bhaskaranji said to him and say, "Oh, look this people call enjoyment. He's going one east to west and then west to east. For a few times he did, and that he said is the enjoyment. For a person of wisdom, this do not attract at all. It seems what is their attraction in just going again and again and on the speedboat on the ocean. So like that, one who gets attracted to this, that's called mudha. And this is upabhoga buddhya, as if this is to be enjoyed. So Bhaskaranandi doesn't have any upabhoga buddhya in such things. He doesn't have any attraction to such a speedboat ride in the Pacific Ocean. So only the upabhoga buddhya, if one has the upabhoga buddhi in the objects of the world, then patangavan nashyati nasta dristihi. Nasta dristihi, their wisdom gone, dristi vision. Their vision is destroyed. They cannot see the right perspective, thing in the right perspective. And such nasta dristi person, or the blinded person, blinded by the attraction of the worldly things and worldly enjoyment, they, what happens? Nasyati. They are destroyed. How are they destroyed? Patangavan nasyati. Patangavat nasyati. They are destroyed like the moth. Like the moth moth perishes itself by jumping into the fire. Like that, these people also, by finding the obstacles, articles of the world so much attractive and attracted by that, have become pralobhitatma. The jivatma, their mind becoming attracted by these, they nasyati, like the patangavat nasyati. They also are destroyed like the moth gets destroyed, because moth also cannot see that the brilliance of fire is in fact its destruction. So these people also do not understand that there is distraction from a spiritual path, and that's how they're called nasta dristi. Let's go to next verse. Now, after saying about the setting the example from how this patanga gives us the right view of how we can be, the sadhaka can be deviated from the path, yoga bhrasta one can become. Had started the spiritual practice, but then got attracted with the worldly things and became failure in the spiritual endeavor. So how should one practice spirituality? One should be alert. Vivek and Vairagya should be there. There is no doubt. And should be always alert and be careful about the things of the world and attraction of the things of the world. Always be careful. And how to live the life of a monk, as Vadhuta was saying to a king, but his instruction become a message for the monks. And he says, how should one live? Stokam grased grasam deho varteta yavata grihana ahimsan atisted vrittim madhu karim munihi. He says now about the muni. one who is true aspirant, who is Mananath Muni. So Mananath Rayati Mantra Muni is who has put his eyes inside. Mananam he is practicing. That is Muni. So Muni, how should he live? How should he protect himself? How should he survive? So he says, Muni should survive by stokam grased grasam. He should eat little by little. Stokam means little. Grased one should eat. Grasam means food. So he should eat the morsels of food little by little. How much little? Deho varteta yavata, by that much quantity by which the body survives. Deha varteta, body lives, body survives. That much food, not for the enjoyment of the tongue, not to tingle the taste buds. Whatever food is there that sustains the body, that much the Muni should eat. Nothing else. And that's as is said about the Yosid, the Hiranya, Abharana, and Ambara. And similarly, another attraction is the attraction of the taste buds. So that also should be controlled. That controlling is also very important. And he should do that little. And how to get that food? Grihat Grihan ahimsan atisted vrittim madhukarim muni. Muni should get food, such food by madhukari vritti. Madhukara means this bee, honey bee. So next, after Patanga, Madhukrit Gajaha, Madhukrit, one who creates Madhu. And that is Madhukrit is a honeybee who makes the honey. So here Madhukari means living the life like a honeybee. That is gathering honey from different flowers little by little. And like that, the monk or the Muni should go and beg food from different houses, a little by little. Not that you should tax any householder. And that's what is called Madhukari Vritti. In the Shastras, it is say you can beg from 3 houses or 5 houses or 7 houses. When you feel that it is enough for you to sustain, you should not go anywhere further. And there is the instruction how he should beg food. Grihan, Grihan, Ahimsan, Atisted. He should not do himsa. Himsa is trouble, injury to Grihat, to the householder without giving any trouble to householder. What is the trouble to householder? If you go there and ask for full meal, and seeing a monk, householder may try to give you all varieties of food, you should decline that. And what you should take little food, and when that is to be taken, that is also is there. If you go before they have food, then they may have to give, and that will become less for them. So they themselves will remain half eaten and may give to the monk. But that's why the rule is after the householders have done their lunch, only then you should go to beg food. And so that whatever is remaining, if there is remaining, they will give to the monk, to the bhikshu. That's how this niyam says. They should go grihan ahimsan atisted vrittim madhukarim muni. He should do the madhukari vritti. He should live the life of a honey bee and gather little food from the householder without giving them any trouble. Ahimsan. So it is not the himsa in the sense of injury, but himsa in the sense of giving trouble by asking food from one house, much food, or before they have eaten the food you ask. So they all may become like injury to them or difficulty to them. So the word used here is himsa. It's a very strong word put. So one should be careful not to give any sort of trouble to householder. That's what it means. Madhukari Muni. And that's what Madhukari it is called. The food collected by Madhukari is very pure food. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Madhukari Anna Shuddha Anna. The food grains that we get by Madhukari is pure food. And he sent one the people and they baked food and they brought little to Thakur. And he said it is very pure food. In our order, also we do Madhu Curry sometimes. So, like just after sannyasa, for 3 days, we go for baking food outside to the householder's house, and we go food and we say Narayana Hari, stand outside and say Narayana Hari. Some people they come and happily they give. Some people become not happy that why these young people just became monk and are coming to beg food. They could work like that. There are different reactions to the people, and whether they give you food or they give you insult, we are told that you should be all blessing and praying for them. Whatever they do, no reaction of any bad type of reaction. That why didn't this person give food? Why that person is saying insulting to me? Nothing like that. Whatever they do, that becomes the experience for a new monk. And after that, all food is collected from three hours or 5 hours. We all the monks wear the sannyasa. Then we go first. We go to Thakur and give their food. Thakur is to love in the temple. Then we go to President Maharaj, who is the sannyasa guru. To him, the little food everyone gives, and then we all monks sit together, and then whatever we have begged, that food is distributed to all the monks like. This year there were 51 monks. They were there. They sit in an open under the sky, under the beneath some trees, and we all share a different Madhu Curry food. So that's how it's a great experience of Madhu Curry Vritti, living on the food, on the alms given by the devotees, householders. By that, the monks get food, and householders give the privilege to serve the monks, and both are benefited spiritually. And the monks, those get food. Something if they say that when you take some service from householders, then you have to replenish that, because your prayer goes to them. Your prayer, your japam, your the fruit of your good deeds, all that substantiates your getting food from them. So that's how you go and sit and pray for the people who might have given you food, or where you have begged, or might have done something insulting words or insulting behavior. You pray more for them, because they were deprived from the benefit or punya of giving you, the monk who had gone to give food. Be more prayerful for that, for those people, because uh, those who shared their own food with you, they already got the benefit of serving a newly ordained monk. So, like that, they say that's why this Madhu Kari Vritti from different houses, like honeybees sips nectar from different flowers, like that you collect food from different houses without taxing them, without injuring them, without creating trouble to any householder. That's how a monk should sustain his life. That's what it is said. The sage should live a bee-like life, Madhukari Vritti, taking little doles of food from several houses without taxing them, just so much as would maintain the body. That is a deho varteta yavata, as much as body is to be sustained. Only that, that much one should beg. The lessons taught by the bee is given in verses 9 to 12. This is the ninth verse. Be like life, this Madhukari Vritti. This is actually the name given to house baking of cooked food by sadhus in India. So there is two types of sadhus. One accept only cooked food, Madhukari Vritti. Other they accept Sidhe, that's a Siddha. What they accept is Babaji, mostly the Babajis, Vaishnava monks. To them, the rice or dal or vegetable little is given, and they cook by themselves, and they eat only the food cooked by them alone. They will not accept the cooked food. So that is the begging the alms, and they feel that I have to swapak. They want to cook themselves and eat the food as they like. So that is also one style of begging, and that is called the Viksha Vritti. Both are Viksha Vritti, but in the Viksha Vritti, the making of the cooked food is called Madhu Kari Vritti. like the Madhukara or honeybee lifestyle. So that's what the Dasanami Sampradaya, we do that way. We do the Madhukari Vritti. We don't accept uncooked food and that we have to cook again, because we are supposed to be niragni. We are supposed to be not using fire to cook food, no cooking. Whatever the society gives, that should be enough to sustain our body. So, like that is the philosophy behind that. So let us go to next verse, verse number 10. uh, अणुभ्यश्च महद्भ्यश्च शास्त्रेभ्यः कुशलो नरः सर्वतः सारमादद्यात् पुष्पेभ्यः इव षट्पदः. Now again, how should one bake food? Giving the example from honeybee. How it is? Anubhyascha mahadvyascha shastrebhya kushalo nara. Kushalo nara. That means kushala means clever. Um, the clever man should take the essence out of all sources, and not only in food, like other things, from the sastras, from the scriptures, anudbhya mahad, from scriptures, small as well as great, like the bee from flowers. So the honeybee doesn't only tell how to collect the food, but also how to get the essence of the scriptures, how to study the scriptures. So from you should study the scriptures and take the essence of those scriptures, whether great or small. Anudbhya Mahadvya, Shastrebhya. That is what who can get the essence of the scriptures is called Kushala. That type of human being is called Kushala Nara. Sarvata Saram Adhyat. From Sara, the essence of the scripture should be taken. Sri Ramakrishna, that's why to say, I know what is the Sara of the Gita. We read the whole of the Gita. So many things are there in the Gita. Brahma Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Brahma Vidya, so many things. Everything of the Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism is concisely put in the message of the Gita. But Sri Ramakrishna put it very in very one word, and he says the essence of the Gita is Tyagi, in the very name of the Gita. Tyagi, that is renounce the attachment and attraction to the world. Don't be attracted to the worldly objects. Renounce that. Get freed from that. Have have your intelligence strong and pure enough not to be attracted by the glamour and the dazzle of the worldly things that you think that will be the enjoyment. Don't be attracted by that. Be a tyagi. Renounce that. Renounce the attachment to the things of the world. So that is called tyagi, and the message of the Gita is tyagi. The essence of the Gita is tyaga. That's what Sri Ramakrishna finds the essence. When that's how it is said about Sri Ramakrishna, that he had the essence of the Vedanta. That's what the sadhu should be, said the Avadhuta Brahmana here. Sadhu may not have memorized all the Vedas and the Upanishads, but he should know the essence of the Upanishads and the Gita and the Shastras, and should live up to those essence, to that knowledge that is gained there. Not that he is able to quote and he knows the explanation. That is not important if those messages he wants to benefit from himself from that. If he wants to preach or teach or make clear, then he needs to know more explanation and those things. But if the sadhu wants to build his own life, even the essence itself will do, as it is said, from all the things you should collect the essence of all the shastras, as Madhukara collects nectar from the different flowers. Now this verse 9 to 11, 12, it says, okay. Sayantanam swastanam va na sangrihnita vikshitam pani patro daramatro makshikeva na sangrahi. So how should one collect again the viksha? How to get after viksha, then shastra, then viksha again. Sayantanam swastanam va. In the evening or next day. Na sangrihnita bhikshitam. One should not sangrihnita, not should store food. The bhikshitam, the arm, the food got by the received by the arm should not be stored for evening or for tomorrow. So that is the thing. So one should not, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that there should be no the monk with the putli. Once he has collected something, you should be aware of such monks. He is storing something, nothing to be stored for evening or for tomorrow. Na sangrinita vikshitam pani then where to store? He says pani patro daram udaram atro maksikeva na sangrahi. So the monk should use for his stored only the pani hands, or udaram he should accept in the hands and eat and store in the stomach. So that is the stomach is the store, and accepting bowl is the hands. Whatever comes in hand he gets, he eats that and puts in the store. That alone is the store. He doesn't think about what will happen in evening or what will needed for tomorrow. As this is said in the Bible also, the monks do not think of tomorrow. What will happen? What will I get? That's how the life of the renunciate or tyagi is. They don't worry for anything. They know God is there, who will provide, who has given this life, who has given the right thought. He will provide whatever is needed for sustenance of the body and for practice of spirituality. God is there. So that faith makes them not to store anything for themselves. What will I get in the evening? So maybe I will not get anything, but that doesn't bother. Maybe I'll not get anything tomorrow. If God doesn't want, I will not get. That doesn't bother. If God is there, I may get, I may not get. Whatever is there, as the praise and insult are to be taken equally. Similarly, getting the bhiksha or not getting anything should be taken equally. Practice of equanimity, that is very important for a muni. And he says, Makshikeva na sangrahi. Whatever you should not store like what you should do, like the makshika or honeybee, he said, you should collect from different houses and do not trouble one household and get the food, and that should sustain you. Now he said, what you should not do, what the honeybee do. Honeybee stores that nectar in their hive, and they concentrate that and make honey out of it. And that you should not do, because you have seen the fate of that honey or the hive. What happens to that? When they have collected, someone comes, honey hive collector, and he takes away all the honey. So whatever they have taken so much of effort and trouble, all is gone. So you don't need to store anything. So that's what is the message from honeybee, the second type of message he gets. Sayantanam swastanam va nasangrinita bhikshuka makshika iva sangrina saha tena vinashyati. The mendicant should not store for the evening or the next day. That he said in the first verse also, the previous verse. One who does so is destroyed with his store like the honey bee. When the honey collector comes, robber comes, he destroys, he takes away the whole hive, breaks hive and takes it. And with that, honey bee also dies, his food collector also dies, the stored thing does not produce any result. So don't go for storing anything. Be dependent on God, don't be dependent on the world. We learn from the fate of honey collected by the honeybees. So that's why two types of lessons Avadhuta gets from the Madhu Curry or the honeybee. One, don't trouble any one householder and gather from all foods and have the makshika vritti. And like the makshika, don't store the thing, because whatever you store will be taken away by the robber, will be taken away by the thieves, and you will get nothing, and rather you will be destroyed if you have so much of worldly things. So that is for the muni, and also for maybe the people, householders, that he said that don't be careful about not having attractive things that people muda buddhi, muda nara are attracted, who are like they may break your house because they see you have ornaments and the cash and the gold, and they may come and they may kill you or they may rob you. So don't keep those things in your house. Those have no value. If you find those are valuable, don't keep that in your house. So by that, in the modern language, we can say keep those rather in the locker. Be careful not to have such things, attractive things. Those who the fools are attracted, don't keep in the house. But if you are wiser, then don't be attracted by those things. Those have no value at all. So we need to survive with those things. Now let me show you the our this old temple where Swami Turiyanandaji, Swami Trigunathanandaji used to give classes, and he used to held. And in fact, here only he had that fateful day when he was giving a talk, and one crazy person came. He was his own disciple and threw a crude bomb on Swami Turiyanandaji. How to have this? I don't know how to do this. So I'll show it like this. Also like this. This is the hall. This is the hall, and this is the lectern. He was lectern. He was giving talk from here. And for example, this photo, this painting of Jesus is the original painting. From this painting, many books you might have seen. And it was on request of Swami Trigunathananji, one American lady artist painted, and the Jesus in yoga posture. And I have heard that this has been requested by our Vatican, and they have sent the photograph of this Jesus. So it's very unique Jesus who is in meditation, deep meditation. And there is also Thakur's this thing, Sri Ramakrishna's that painting you can see. That also mm, was asked by requested by Swami Tirunathananji to be painted. You see the Sri Ramakrishna painting of Sri Ramakrishna as requested by Swami Triguna. And here are the photographs of Thakurma. And the person entered from the door at the end, you can see on the right side. And here people used to see there were a few people here. And he came with that crude homemade bomb and came straight and directly to this place where Maharaj was doing that, giving the lecture. And he threw the bomb here. He couldn't throw it nicely because he was not even that thing. He hurt himself. And Swami Trigunathananji used to always was asking when he was in the hospital getting treated, and he was always thinking, "What happened to that? How is he doing?" I think that person also died, and Trigunathananji also couldn't survive the injuries created by that bomb. So this is that historical hall of the old temple. So it was on Swamiji Tithi, Janma Tithi, that Trigunathananji passed away in 1915. 1915. So now I do the closing chant with we can sit here, no? Oh, here are the photographs of Swamiji, Holy Mother, Buddha, and Swami Trigunathananda in the corner. Here they nowadays they do Friday class. Today there will not be Friday class in the evening. Here in the Swami in charge, he gives the class here on Fridays. On Sundays they give class in the new temple. The main shrine is there. Now we close today's scripture class with the closing chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishnarpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmu. Good night to everyone. Here is just 5:30 here, but in Toronto it's now 8:30, and it's time for supper for all of you if you have already didn't have had so far. And wish to see you next Sunday. Next Friday we'll be meeting. Next Wednesday we'll take later. So next Friday we'll be doing in person and online, and also next Sunday in person and online. Thank you and good night to everyone.